Hey everybody, so welcome to a new video we're going to make on conditionals today. What we're going to do, Lawrie and I, is just talk about the basic conditionals, why they're important in English, and we'll get started.
Right, and I think one thing is we hear a lot from our learners that they struggle with the conditionals, and the reason for that, I think, is because they're difficult to form. They're possibly easier to recognize, especially in writing, but when it comes to actually reproducing them in conversation, you kind of think in your head, oh, what was it again? Which tense am I supposed to use, and what's the situation? I think the meaning is probably easier to sort of wrap your head around, but it's the forming of it that we'll look at in detail. And then, of course, practice, like a lot of things in English, is what helps.
Practice makes perfect, doesn't it? As we all know.
Yeah.
So just really quickly, I'll just talk you through the overall structure of conditionals and how we tend to use them. So for example, the zero conditional is what we always talk about when a condition is met. So a nice little example here is, if it's 0 degrees, water freezes.
And this is it's a basic truth, is what we say. It's always true. It's a rule of nature, for example.
That's it.
And we'll look at that one in a little bit more detail on this video.
Okay, sure. Okay, the next one is if the bus is late, I'll go for a drink. So it's kind of like something that's normally always true as well, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm not sure that it's true, but it's definitely realistic.
Yes.
So what we're saying here, this is sort of the if clause. So if this condition happens, and it probably will, because the bus is probably often late or can be, then I'll do this. I'll go for a drink, because what else are you going to do if the bus is late?
Of course, that's it. That's it. The second one?
The second one is an unrealistic or a hypothetical situation. So I'm probably not going to win the lottery as much as I regret that. Oh, really? But if I did, if I won the lottery, I know exactly what I would do with my money. That's what I want.
You'd get a Tesla.
And red.
And a red one, right? Red one. Okay. So
something flashy.
Why not? Why not? That's it. Okay, and the third one is normally a regret. So if I had studied, I would have passed the test. So we might look back at things we did in life and talk about, well, what would have happened if we had done it. Okay, quite often.
Right. So we didn't study and we didn't pass the test with that one.
That's it.
So we should look at the zero conditional now in a little bit more detail, and what we'll do is we'll have separate videos for conditionals 1, 2, and 3 so that they're a little bit shorter.
Absolutely.
Okay. So why don't we make a little bit of space here? We'll come back to these guys later.
Okay. Good.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about the form. Now, we said that the zero conditional is for truth. So truth of nature is one thing to think about. So if it rains a lot, it floods.
Absolutely.
Happens all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah. So for example, another one could be that if we boil water, it evaporates. Okay. For example.
Exactly. That's a good one. So do we want to look at here at the form?
Sure.
One thing that we should talk about first is that you can see that there's two clauses here. There's this one and there's this one, right? So here's our if clause, and here is the main clause. That's what we can use. And if the if clause comes first, you need this comma here. If it's the other way around, which is absolutely fine, you can. Water freezes if it's 0 degrees, then you don't need a comma.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
That's it.
And then, shall we take a look at the tenses? This one is possibly the easiest as far as tenses is concerned, because if you look at it, they are both present simple.
Yes. So present simple plus present simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I think what's interesting with this as well is that you can also use the modals if you want to. So, for example, should you finish, you can leave.
Okay, yes.
Right?
Yeah,
so instead of... These are some things that you'll hear occasionally. So a lot of people are listening out for the if.
Yes.
Right, and as soon as they hear the if, they say, "Oh, okay, this is a conditional statement."
Form.
But sometimes, unfortunately, we don't really use the if necessarily.
That's a really good point, Laura. Actually, because a lot of people use that when speaking. I mean, that example Laura just gave there is quite common with exams or things at school, isn't it?
Yeah. You mean the should?
Yeah, the should. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more formal, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Should you finish?
That's right. Or announcements.
Right, or even, exactly. on paper, anything with written English.
Yeah, some kind of formality attached to it. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that's also difficult for learners is that the pronunciation is not always completely clear when we speak.
Right.
We tend to, especially when people are listening out for that signal word if.
Yeah.
We don't always say if. We say
right.
f. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So fits
0
0 degrees.
Yes.
Water freezes, and that's definitely for learners kind of hard to pick up in spoken speech, especially informal speech.
Yeah, absolutely. So you just, I think that's really practice, isn't it? Speaking. Really.
And listening for sure.
And listening
as
well, of course.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So I think that's about it about the zero.
I think that is. We'll move on to conditionals 1, 2, and 3 after this video. We hope you found it useful. Okay.